Hey guys, ECRG here, and today we're going to talk about what it was like being at a kickoff meeting, just give an overall review, etc. Stay tuned. Hey guys, ECRG here, and today we're going to talk about what it was like going to a kickoff meeting, being a part of it, etc. So, many of you may or may not know what a kickoff meeting is, but it's basically a meeting in the beginning of a clinical trial where the project directors of both the sponsor and the CRO, the clinical trial managers, basically all the high level people who are responsible for bringing the partnership together between the CRO and the farm and the sponsor, or it could be anybody, the sponsor, which is the person paying for the clinical trial. These individuals get together and talk about the details or high-level overview of how the project is going to go throughout the coming years of the partnership. So they're going to be talking about things like the clinical monitoring plan, how monitoring is going to be going. They're going to talk about how the trial master file is going to be maintained and held. They're going to be talking about, how often meetings are going to occur between the sponsor and the CRO. If you know anything about meetings, you know that that someone is usually there taking meeting minutes. That's going to be the project coordinator, etc. The role I had in clinical research when I got my start is there. So I went to the kickoff meeting as the person responsible for taking the minutes for the meeting. 6 to 7 hours long is a kickoff meeting, sometimes longer, 8 minutes. Usually one day. You're there for one day. We were there for 2 days because we came in the day before to get prepared for the kickoff meeting. But usually the kickoff meeting only lasts one day. So the kickoff meeting was from 9 to about 4 in the afternoon. And, it's a great meeting. It's a time where you can really put the names of the people you've been interacting with up until that point to faces, which is nice. Being able to build that fellowship that you have between, all the team members, all those key stakeholders involved in the trial is good. That will help speed things up in the future in the clinical trial because you'll be able to know exactly who the person is you're talking to, and it just makes things a little bit easier. And it's always nice to finally get some face time with people, because a lot of times in clinical research we're talking over the phone or through instant message or through email with somebody, and it's nice to be able to talk face to face with them. So kickoff meetings are usually always going to be face to face meetings, and that's one of the times where there are going to be face to face meetings in clinical research. A lot of other times, like I just mentioned, you're going to be meeting over the phone, such as the weekly meetings, or meeting through WebEx or Skype or something along those lines. So face to face meetings are always nice. And so if you ever get the opportunity, you should go to one, because a lot of times in clinical research, when you first get started, you're going to just be thrown onto a trial. And that trial could be in many different phases. It could be in closeout phase, which is how I got my start. I was doing TMF, and the TMF was in very bad shape. So I was doing TMF reconciliation at the end of the clinical trial. Everything was already done. They just needed the TMF to hand over to the FDA and to the sponsor. So you could be in maintenance, where it could be in the middle of it, or it could be in startup, where it could be at the beginning of it. Startup as in enrolling sites, enrolling patients into the trial, still after the kickoff meeting, or you could be there from the ground up, which is what I had the great fortune of doing. Literally from point zero, nothing has been made, not even a shared mailbox. You can't even build a study. You can't even, pay. You can't even build a study for your time. You're using the company's budget to do that. So it's really nice to be able to, get it from that point, from where there is virtually, nothing has been done on the study yet from your perspective. It's nice to be able to get it from that point and really get a high level overview, because so many times when you start a study in the middle, you don't really understand what's going on, especially when you're new to clinical research. So many terms, so many acronyms, so many things that have already been decided and so many things that have already been hashed out before by the project manager and the project directors, etc. So they understand what's going on because they were there. But you coming on new and really working at the bottom of the totem pole, you're not as well versed as to what is going on. So it's a really good opportunity from a learning perspective to go to a kickoff meeting because you get to understand the project from the ground up. You get to understand which vendors each sponsor or the CRO wants to use, where their relationships lies, what they've done on other projects that have been successful that they implement on your project to be successful. So tons of opportunity for learning. So if you're new to the industry, I would try and get to as many kickoff meetings as possible because you're going to learn a lot. So that's something to keep in mind. Another thing that is important to keep in mind at kickoff meetings is you're really networking with high-level people, directors, people at the director level, executives even come to these kickoff meetings because sponsors are investing so much money into each clinical trial. You know, these trials are millions and millions of dollars to run. So it's imperative that they're done right, they're done expediently, and they're done properly. So they have a vested interest in being at these kickoff meetings. So you really get to rub shoulders with high-level people that can really make things happen for you in the future. You know, whether you might be working with them again in the future or just to have as a connect for another opportunity later on. You know, on this channel, we talk so much about networking. If you haven't seen our videos on the best ways to get job in clinical research, go back and check that out. But really the best way to get jobs and better opportunities and things like that is by networking. And at these kickoff meetings, you're at the prime opportunity to network because if you're new to clinical research, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. So all bets are off, you know. It's only positive for you being there. There's only positives. It's not like the executive who's got other projects he's working on and he just got to show up there just to make sure. But if you're new to clinical research, it's only positives. You're only in the positive from being there. So the networking is amazing at these kickoff meetings, and really not just outside of the company for the sponsor, but if you're wearing a CRO, you're at high-level people, the movers and shakers at your own company. So make sure you take the time to network with those people too. I know I certainly did, because they can make things happen for you at your own company, which is ultimately where things are going to happen to you the most. A lot of the times, the people that get promotions aren't necessarily the people that are the best at the job. A lot of times that's not the case. It's the people who get the promotions and the bonuses and the awards and stuff that are well networked, that, you know, people know about what they do and people end up liking you. So, you know, it's not always about the metrics. It's not always about who does the best job. A lot of times that's not the case. That's probably one of the biggest misconceptions. And you want to do good work as well, but networking is everything. How many times have you heard the quote, your network is your net worth? So, you know, these quotes are cliches like patience is a virtue and some of the other ones, but time and time again, they become true. So the kickoff meeting is very good on the networking front. And a lot of times when you're new to clinical research, you may or may not be in a traveling position. Most of the time you're not going to be. You're going to be working in the office. You're not going to have as much time to travel. So at a kickoff meeting, you normally go to the sponsor. So you're going to be able to get to travel to wherever they are. You know, maybe you're unlucky and they're in the same city, but at least you get to go to a different office. But I had the great fortune of being able to travel at this kickoff meeting. So I was able to go up there. Not going to say where it is because it might give it away, but had the great fortune of traveling, and that's always a plus. I love traveling. You know, you make more money obviously when you're on the road because you're billing the entire time from when you're at the airport to when your meeting is done, or you know, you're billing a lot more time. Even when you're in the airport just chilling, or when you're on the plane sleeping, you're getting paid. When you're in the office, you know, you got to literally be there doing work the entire time, people looking over your shoulder, et cetera, et cetera. 2, company is paying for the food, and it's good food too. They ain't playing around. So you get free food. 3, they're normally having drinks at dinner, which is amazing to me. They went ham at dinner on some drinks. So free drinks as well. So there's only positives to traveling. More money, incredible networking opportunities, and you aren't spending any of your own money. Like what better is there to ask for? All positive. So overall, the kickoff meeting was amazing. Meeting minutes always suck. I talked about if you don't know how I feel about meeting minutes, go watch my video on the most hated task in clinical research. Then you'll know how I feel about meeting minutes. But meeting minutes are what they are at this point. After you've done them for a while, you kind of get used to them. You just kind of beat them into submission, and you just kind of get used to them. But 6-7 minutes long of meeting minutes, 6 to 7 hours, of meeting minutes. I don't know if anybody can get used to that, but from all the other positives that are gained at a kickoff meeting, it's well worth it. Putting in that 6 hours, it's well worth it. And not to mention all the knowledge you get from taking all those minutes from a high level perspective. So all in all, a kickoff meeting is an amazing experience. I would recommend it to anybody if you ever get the chance. A lot of people don't like traveling, so opportunities arise for people to hop in there and go to the kickoff meeting. So if you ever get the opportunity, jump on it. Let people around the office know that you're not afraid to travel, because a lot of people are, and when the time arises for them to travel, you pop up in there, and it shows that you're willing to do what works. So, maybe I'll talk about this in a later video, but some good things happen from me attending that kickoff meeting. Some really good things happen. And maybe you'll see it on the channel too. Hopefully so. So I would definitely take it up if you ever get the opportunity to do a kickoff meeting or any type of meeting where you get to travel. The networking by itself is great. And all this talk about networking I do on the channel, how would I forgot to bring my own business cards? Left them right there on my desk at work. But it's all good. Still got great networking at the kickoff meeting. So if you guys have any questions about kickoff meeting, this is not really about what is a kickoff meeting and we go through the bullet points or whatever. This is more just a overview of my experience at a kickoff meeting and just overall experience I had at the kickoff meeting, and wanted to share that with you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like, share this video with all your homies, all your friends. If you have any comments, comment down below. Once again, always looking for people to interview and talk to. Email us at eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com. Love to talk to you. Comment down below. We always respond there as well. If you have anything else, take care, guys.